It's great to be watching all of these archers compete for the glory before the Olympics. And an interesting fact about the World Cup circuit, in 2008, the final World Cup stage, which was in Beauvais, France, that was the final stage before the Olympics in 2008. And in the men's recurve division, the individual winner of the men's recurve division won the Olympics that year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this year in terms of who wins here and at the Olympics. But first of all, we have the team round, and that'll be getting underway very shortly with the women's recurve bronze medal match.
And this will feature Germany taking on the USA, coached by Gisik Lee, who just signed a new contract with the United States, came in 2006 and has done wonders for the United States program, helping the men and the women. The women really making a lot of strides here of late, and the USA in this bronze medal match against Germany. We'll take a look at the two teams as they get set for competition. Team USA, from left to right, it's Miranda Leak, Jennifer Nichols, and Katuna Lorig. These three qualified earlier this week in dramatic fashion for the Olympic Games in London.
Oh, it was definitely an exciting match to watch. I mean, there was close calls on some accounts, but in the end, they came through, and the U.S. is sending a full team of men and a full team of women, consisting of these three women, and we're going to see the men a little bit later on.
All right, here's Team Germany: Elena Richter, Lisa Unruh, and Karina Winter. Germany was 4 better than the Indonesians earlier this week in qualifying, slipped by Japan 210 to 209, and then lost to Russia, a team we'll see very shortly. The United States got here with a 213 to 204 win over Kazakhstan, beat France by 7 in the quarterfinals, and then lost to Mexico by 6 in the semis. And as we mentioned before, this will be the first Olympic bid for the United States team since Athens, so it's been about an 8-year drought, and hopefully, as you mentioned a little while ago, there'll be some carryover. But we hope that for all these archers.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, some of these archers are going to be coming on again later on today, and we're going to see that with Jenny Nichols in her gold medal match in the individuals. But right now, all of them are focusing on their own game right now on this team round, the here and the now. And here we get started with Team USA, Miranda Leak on the line shooting first on the target on the left, target number 1.
Miranda, 19 years old, out of Des Moines, Iowa, ranked 7th in the world, 1st in the United States. And once again, in the team competition, they'll shoot 24 arrows, each team 24 arrows. And the first arrow we're looking for on our screen.
Not sure if I just heard what the announcer just said, that Miranda's first arrow was a miss, but it's a very, very windy situation out there.
Right there.
Katuna Lorig just shot a 10 here, which is an awesome shot for her considering the conditions out on the field of play.
Once again, to continue its cumulative scoring here in the team competition in the recurve. 4 ends, 6 arrows per end, as there is a 9 for Jennifer Nichols, but that first shot by Miranda Leak was indeed scored as a miss. No points.
We're going to get it still.
And in this kind of scoring system, that's huge.
That's very huge, and it's really unfortunate because of the USA's potential that they have. Miranda Leak, very strong, and unfortunately succumbing to the first arrow pressures, and I guess the wind that's out there right now.
Well, the temperature is 97 degrees Fahrenheit, and there are some brisk, unpredictable desert winds blowing in from the west as Germany starts off with 2 9s. Elena Richter, Lisa Unruh, and Karina Winter. And Germany will take the lead with this shot, and they will go up 28 to 19.
So a 9-point lead for the team from US, and that's very, very unfortunate. Miranda Leak must be a little shaken up, but right now she's focusing on the next shot and how she's going to do this shot. It's going to be an interesting thing to see what happens later on in this match, but sometimes that's a much better shot from her, an 8 from Miranda Leak. It's going to be interesting to see what happens later on in this match because of what happened on the first arrow. Sometimes the first arrows can affect the archers and sometimes not, but USA is a very strong team. 9 from Katuna Lorig,
who's a very strong archer, a 5-time Olympian with 3 countries.
Yes, and she's shooting one of the highest poundages I've seen with women so far, and I believe that's 47 pounds. I just talked to her about that the other day. And 47 pounds for a woman is very, very high. Jenny Nichols with an 8. So 44 points unofficially to start off the USA's first end in cumulative scoring for this team round.
You just bottom out. I just want to make
Winter,
sure.
9 points.
Winter, ranked 44th in the world, 26 years old. Won an individual gold medal at the Indoor Championships in Poland back in 2009. So she shoots nines with her first 2 shots. And another 9 for Germany.
Germany's already taken the lead by 2 points with an arrow to go, and they've been holding gold, which is what you have to do at this level. It's a very unfortunate first shot by Team USA. But again, they can still come out of it. It's just a matter of how they do it.
And the final shot of the first end is in the books. It's on the line, and they'll count it as an 8. So 54 points for Germany compared to the 44 for the United States. And obviously that miss on the first shot of the match, the difference right now,
So if he puts them into it.
a 10-point difference as the United States scores 44 out of a possible 60 points in the match. But let's go back to earlier this week. There's the arrow that was off
That's
target.
very unfortunate. That looks like a low left arrow. And my experience with low left arrows on a recurve for a right-handed shooter is just a very weak shot in general. I don't know if it's going to be the same for Miranda, but in my personal experience, that just means that my release hand, with the hand is touching the face and grabbing onto the string, that didn't come straight back for me. And it'd be really cool to see that shot again, just to see if we could see anything that happened. It could have been just not a strong enough shot. It could have just been a collapse on the front end. And I mean, she could have pinched the arrow off the arrow rest with her fingers that are holding onto the string. So a variable amount of things can happen to make that shot. But as bad of a position that puts you in, you have to forget about that arrow and move on and just keep coming strong against your team and not show any weakness or any getting affected by that shot. So Team USA is going to be shooting first. Miranda leaked first to the line, and I'm sure she's going to pull out of it. She's a very strong competitor, and I'm predicting that this arrow is going to be in the gold because she's got to be kind of mad that she shot that first arrow like that.
So here's Miranda, who is going to the Olympic Games in London, still looking for her first World Cup medal in 2012. And that shot is much better. If she was rattled, it didn't show on that shot.
Yeah, that's the thing about this sport. What you've shot in the last end or the past end or whatever, you have to forget about. Just move on and do your next shot.
Katuna Lorig, who is the coach of Jennifer Lawrence in the Hunger Games, and showing why she was chosen for that role with a strong shot. And now Jennifer Nichols, who looks a little bit like Katniss Everdeen with that ponytail. You can't see it in that shot.
Seven right.
Now it looks like Jennifer was a little tight on her front end, which means that her bow didn't do what it's supposed to do, is just kind of fly out of the hand and just take its natural path towards the target. It looks like she was kind of hanging on, and that can cause torque. And that's usually caused by the severely high winds that are going on in the field right now. And I've heard some rumors that we're going to get some wind gusts of up to 60 miles an hour today. So you can see all the flags really going on down range. It's not as strong as we've had before today, but we're going to see what happens later on in the day.
And bear in mind, yesterday the compound archers were shooting at targets 50 meters away. Today the target is 70 meters away, and that means these arrows are subject to the wind conditions that much more. They're in the air that much longer.
Exactly. These arrows are spending maybe about as much as 2 seconds in the air, maybe a little less, maybe a second and a half, but still, nevertheless, these arrows are arcing higher than what the compounds shot in yesterday, just because of the draw weight and the physics behind how the arrows launched from the bow. And I mean, it's a little bit of a tougher condition for recurve archers, especially not having a release aid, having to use their fingers on the string instead of a mechanical aid.
Nice
and
shot.
another 9
9
for
and
Miranda,
4,
so
good job.
I'm pretty sure she's recovered from that first shot, and she's just going to be pounding
just like
gold
first,
out
nice and strong.
throughout this match.
Showing some mental toughness as she comes back and shoots a 9. The United States midway through this second end had taken 2 points off that 10-point lead, and there's the first bullseye by the United States by Katuna Lorig.
It was right next to her first arrow too, so I'm pretty sure she's dialed in for this field now. This is Jennifer Nichols, who we'll be seeing in the individual gold medal match later on today. Getting a feel for the field right now.
Out of Cheyenne, Wyoming.
There you go.
And a 9 for the United States. So we'll see what the Germans can come up with. They had a 10-point lead after the first end due to the missed shot by Miranda Leak on the opening shot of the match and the day.
10 points. Another 10 will tie Germany's score, and another 10 will obviously give them another 10-point lead to maintain that 10-point lead coming out of this second end. But we'll see what happens. Germany's group is just a little bit wider than the USA's, but that's another 7 out up high. And that could be due to the wind. If we checked out the flags, if you quickly can see the flags whenever we're panning around, you're going to see the flags are pointed away from the archers, which is called a tailwind. And that can actually give the arrow a little bit more power going towards the target, but it also affects the arrow in ways that the archer cannot predict. It's a very, very difficult wind to shoot in. And the fact that there's stands behind and around the archers, shading them from all of the elements. They can't feel the wind sometimes when they're at full draw, but once the arrow leaves the bow, it gets affected a lot more than they're expecting.
So what they're feeling at the shooting line isn't necessarily what's out there affecting those arrows as they're taking their path or trajectory towards that target.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you'll be able to see it. The arrow will come out of the bow straight, but maybe about, I don't know, 30, 40 meters downrange, you'll see your arrow start pointing in a different direction because the back of it is getting carried off by the wind. And you can see all the field, the whole field here. The flags on the right are moving. Flags on the left aren't. The big American flag in the back of the stadium is moving pretty well. And looks like the flags on the targets weren't doing that much. So, I mean, you could get affected by wind at any point, at any area in this field, and it's really out of your control. All you can do is just shoot your arrow and sometimes pray for the best.
Well, right now the United States was 5 better in that second end, so they cut the lead in half to their credit after falling behind by 10 points after the first end. 12 more arrows yet to be shot by these two teams, which, by the way, last time they met was at the World Cup in Porridge, Croatia, back in 2010. Germany winning that match, 204 to 201. So the United States trying to get a little bit of payback here.
Miranda really taking her time with this shot.
Good shot. Just 8 right.
It's an 8 just outright.
Yep. That's the first one you've had.
Miranda, of course, broke through here in Ogden last year, winning her first World Cup medal in Ogden, as she paired up with Brady Ellison in the mixed team competition a year ago.
Nice.
There's another 10.
Right
Katuna Lorig ranked 20th in the world. Finished 9th in Shanghai at stage 1, 17th in Antalya, and trying to pick up a bronze medal here with the women's team. Jennifer Nichols. Jennifer Nichols, looks like it's on the line.
I think it's a 10. I think it's in. They're going to have to confirm that when they go down to score the arrows officially. So right now it's called a 9 with an asterisk, which means that it could be a 9 or it could be a 10, but we're going to say it's a little bit lower and upgrade it later on if need be. It's an 8 points. Yep, 8 points. And
by Karina Winter.
We're seeing that 10-point lead start to really die down.
United States trying to whittle away at that lead and reel the Germans back in, and there's a 7, and that's going to help the American cause as Richter comes up with a 7 on that shot. She's also vying for her first World Cup medal. Now Lisa Unruh, ranked 58th in the world.
An 8 to take the lead. It's a 6. So there's a reversal now. USA is now in the lead, even with that 9 or 10 that Jenny Nichols shot. So they've got the momentum back. I'm believing that the USA might use this to their advantage, because coming back from a 10-point deficit is a huge thing to do, especially at this level on this field.
Once again, cumulative scoring in the team competition in recurve.
Right off the top. Good shot.
And there's another good shot from Miranda Leak, who's showing what she's made of. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah.
Katuna has been so solid all day. Shoots an 8.
Okay, Jenny, nice and strong. Keep moving the whole time. You got it, Jenny.
And now Jennifer Nichols from Cheyenne, Wyoming. About 7 hours drive from Ogden, Utah.
Nice shot right
And
there.
a beautiful shot.
It's a very good way for Team USA to put some pressure onto Team Germany. Team Germany can only drop 2 points to tie USA here after these next 3 arrows.
Yeah.
So the pressure clearly now on the German team.
And that's 2 points down. So 2 10s here will tie the American team.
Sorry about that, Jimmy. That's why I was grabbing it. It's full. It's full.
On the line.
That's 1 10. One more 10 will tie.
And it would set up a dramatic fourth end to
Very,
decide
very
this
dramatic
match.
fourth end, I agree. Ooh, 7 points. So a 3-point lead unofficially by Team USA. And this is a very surprising turn of events. I thought Team Germany was going to be fighting it out to keep their lead. But now USA has taken the lead and I think is running away with it.
By the way, you will not see any Korean archers here today. The Koreans not here. They're back home getting ready for the Olympic Games. Many of their archers had already qualified for the World Cup finals, and so they decided to stay home, which they've done in the past, and concentrate on the Olympics.
That's right, and I think the Koreans only ever go to, if there's 4 World Cup stages, I don't think they only go to 3, but since this year there's only 3, I think they're only coming to 2. So it's not unlike them to not be here. I mean, it's a very long trek from Korea to Ogden, Utah, and if you've already secured your spots for the finals in Tokyo, then there's no point in coming and spending money and wearing your archers out.
So we get set for the fourth and final end. 6 more arrows for both of these teams. The United States would started out in a big hole after missing on the first shot of the match. Falling behind by 10 after the first 6 arrows, cut the lead in half midway through the match. Went ahead midway through the third end, 124 to 123, and now have a 3-point advantage, 151 to 148. So we have seen almost a complete reversal of fortunes, but then again, that could happen in this end as well.
I mean, right now it's up for grabs by anybody, but I'm pretty sure Team USA is going to do what they always do, which I've heard them say is just keep swimming and swim all the way to that bronze medal, sorry.
So we're all set for the fourth and final end.
And Team Germany will be shooting first on target number 2.
As they trail by 3.
Germany shooting first, the first time in the match on target 2. Remember, the team with the lower score shoots first.
9 points, just out of the 10, a little high.
So Elena Richter with a good shot to get them started. Now Elena Richter, who is ranked 51st in the world.
10 points. It's a good way to put some pressure onto Team USA.
Always respond well to pressure.
Can Lisa Unruh keep it going for Germany? She was on the mixed team that took a bronze medal earlier this week, and look at the grouping.
That's a very good shot by Lisa Unruh to finish off that 3-arrow pass. And, you know, it's just them putting a little bit of pressure on Team USA. At 27, so 3 9s will maintain their lead at the very least.
Yep, nice shot.
There's one.
There's 1 9. I don't think they're hoping for that, because if they did shoot 3 7s, then that means it's only a 1-point lead, but you know, like, you want to give yourself a little bit more of a buffer than 1 point. Another 9.
9 and 9, good shot, nice shot.
Solid shooting by Team USA here in the fourth end,
Jenny, you got it.
as the Americans try to get the day started with the bronze medal. Jennifer Nichols, whom, as you mentioned, Crispin, we'll see later on in the individual competition with a 10.
10 points, so 2-point lead unofficially by Team USA over Germany. Final 3 arrows in the bronze medal women's recurve team match.
Heading down the stretch now, here at Lindquist Field in Ogden, Utah.
9 points. Team Germany really coming on strong in this final end.
It's going to come down to a very close match here.
7 points.
That may
be
put this in the win column for the United States.
That may, but again, there's still arrows to be shot by the United States. Not saying that anything's going to happen, but it's never over until it's over. And a nice X to finish off the match.
Dead center for Lisa Unruh on the final shot for Germany, and they'll finish with 204 points.
For USA to win, they need 25 points to seal the deal. That's a 9 2/8 on average. Let's see what happens.
Nice
That's
shot.
a 9.
Nice shot for Miranda Leak, who, by the way, if you noticed, has bobbed her hair a little bit, chopped off about 12 inches and sent it to Lux for Love.
Oh, that's good for her.
Great cause. Great cause.
Yep.
9 points.
Just above it. Good shot, woman. Nice job.
Anything 8 and in will guarantee the win. Actually 7 and in, so anything red and in, sorry.
So Jennifer Nichols, who hit 2 clutch shots on Thursday in that Olympic qualification round, won in a shoot-off with Mexico to win that match, and clinched the match with Japan that sent Team USA to the Olympics. That's on the line. It's a 7 with an asterisk.
Wait.
So they've got to
Johnson, the coach, saying, wait.
They've got to confirm everything first to see what's going on down there. But right now, it's looking, because it's 7 asterisks. Again, I said 7 will still give them a 1-point lead. So I think Mel Nichols, the coach of the USA right now, who's not related to Jenny Nichols, by the way, has misdone his math by 1 point. So USA can celebrate. There they are. They're starting to realize it. And the bronze medal is theirs to take home
by 1 point.
By 1 point.
As Katuna Lorik celebrates here at Lindquist Field. And Mel Nichols, you notice the little ribbons coming out of the back of his cap. They're going to stay there all the way through the Olympic Games in London. So Team USA comes up with a win.
Did he lose a bet for that or something? Or?
You'd have to ask Mel about that.
Okay.
So the USA, which defeated Japan and Mexico to qualify for the Olympics on Thursday, now go to London. Of course, the USA, the women from the USA, have not medaled at the Olympics since 1988, Seoul, South Korea. That was when Denise Parker was on the team. And so high hopes, especially after this performance here in the bronze medal match. The bronze going to the USA, and Miranda Leak breathing a sigh of relief now.
I kind of momentarily forgot about that. So yeah, she must be pretty happy with herself. That the whole team must be happy that they were able to pull through despite the mishap on the first arrow by Miranda Leak and still come through, coming home with some hardware. And Jenny Nichols will be definitely coming home with 2 medals because this was the first one she had to win today, and she's going to the gold medal match later on today. Worst she can do is silver, still some hardware to come home around her neck, and a great tournament for Jenny Nichols overall. And Team USA coming back from a 10-point deficit to take the bronze, 205 to 204.